Okay, today we're going to work on this question that has come to me. It is, what is reasonableness? The first thing that comes to my mind when I think of reasonableness is sound judgment. Sound judgment. Also, when I think of sound judgment, I think of something that makes sense. Makes sense. I'll write it that way. Or something that is not exceeding. Something that's not exceeding is close. And something that really comes to my mind that I really like when I think of what is reasonableness is something that is agreeable. All of these words come to my mind. Sound judgment, something that makes sense, not exceeding, close, and agreeable. Now let's think about some examples of all of these words. Sound judgment. Let's say you have an Xbox console that you want to sell. And let's say you bought the Xbox for $450. But you're willing to sell it for, let's say, $300. You want to sell it on eBay. So let's go ahead and write this Xbox console. You want to sell it for $300. You put it on eBay, you get a few people that want to buy it. And so let's say you have the top buyer wants to buy it for $150. Now, is that close to the price that you put on eBay? No. Is it exceeding the price that you have put on eBay? No, it's actually lower. Is it something that you can agree on? If it was me, I don't think I would agree on that one because it's not close. It doesn't really make sense compared to the price that I'm willing to sell it for. So this is not reasonable. Now some people may disagree. You may be willing to sell it for this price if you don't have enough buyers, if this is your highest bid. But initially, my thinking is I want to sell my Xbox console for at least $300 to get something back for what I paid for it. So $150 to me, right, it would not be reasonable. It's not agreeable. Another example, let's say you have an Xbox game that you spent maybe $60 for. So you'd be willing to sell it for like $40. So here we have an Xbox game. Let's say you bought it, played the game a few times and you don't like it. So you just want to sell it. So you have a buyer. Somebody says, okay, I'll buy from you for $30. You have an offer. Is that close? Yes. Is it agreeable? I can agree on that. Although I'm not getting $40 for it, at least I'm making some type of profit. I'm not losing too much. $5 difference. I think I can agree on that. So this is reasonable because the price is close to my offer. Another example would be, let's say you have an iPhone. The iPhone 6 is out now. So let's say you had an iPhone 5 that you are willing to get rid of, and you spent right at $500, and you know you're not going to get too much back for that, so you'd be willing to sell it for like $200. And let's say you have an offer for $100. This is your offer. Now, is this close to the price that you're willing to sell it for? No, it's actually $100 off, as you can see. Is it reasonable? No, this is not reasonable. This is not reasonable based on the price difference. It's $100 difference. Like my first example. Now, over time, if this is your best offer, you may go with that. But initially, I want to make at least $200 for my iPhone 5 that I'm willing to get rid of to get the iPhone 6. So If someone offers me $100, I'm not going to think that's agreeable because it's $100. It's way off my offer. Now, like I said before, you may be willing to sell it at that price if this is your best offer. But in the beginning, no way. This is not reasonable, it's not agreeable, and it's not close. So these are some examples of reasonableness. So you want to make sure it's sound judgment. Just going back to what I said before. You want to make sure it's sound judgment. You want to make sure it's agreeable. It's one of my, there I go. Agreeable. You want to make sure it makes sense. You want to make sure it's close. In some cases, you want to make sure it's not exceeding or is less. So in this case, exceeding, or it could be less of a price. So that's another key word that you want to consider when you're thinking about reasonableness.